Perfect. Okay. So, as ever, with these classes, you just work within your own capability. So if anything's hurting, if you need to stop or rest at any point, then please do. Okay. So we're going to start this class seated. I'm actually going to grab my towel to sit on. So it can be quite nice just to have something, if you've got a cushion or a towel to sit on, just to allow you to lift up a little bit higher. Now, I really don't mind how you sit for this, so I quite like to sit cross-legged, but that's not for everybody. So you might prefer to have your legs out in front or even to have them flat. Just sit however feels good for you. And I want you just to take a moment to really focus in to your breath, okay? So just take a lovely deep breath in and breathing out. And as you're breathing in, I want you to breathe into a count of 5. And then breathe out for 5. Breathe in for 5. And breathe out for 5. And breathing in. And out. And now bring your arms across your chest. Just place your hands on your shoulders. And we're going to breathe in and twist for 5. And then breathe out, twist the other way for 5. Breathe in for 5. And out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And this time, if you want to, as you breathe in, you can add some little pulses. It's just gentle presses, just pushing to the end range of your movement and pulling back. And breathing out. Little presses. And then 5 little presses the other way. As you breathe in, then breathe out. And if you want to, if your shoulders allow you, you can bring your arms out to the side. And it's those little presses as you breathe in. And then 5 as you breathe out. Breathing in, gentle press into that end range of movement. Deep breath in and breathing out. And come back to center now. We're going to go back, we're going to switch the breathing now. So you're going to breathe in the opposite direction. Deep breath in. And breathing out for 5. Breathing in. And out. And we'll add in those gentle presses. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out. And then you can bring your arms out to the side if you want to. That's okay on your shoulders. And those 5 gentle presses. And breathe out. Breathing in, deep breath in. And out. And last set. And out. And then coming back to center. Still keeping with those deep breaths, I want you to reach in and to stretch. And then we'll switch sides, reaching up and stretch. And switch sides. Just noticing if you feel a little stiffer one side to the other. And one more deep breath in. And out. And deep breath in. And out. And now bring your arms overhead. We're going to circle with the arms. Just opening through the shoulders. And then we're going to add in, just let your eyes slide up a little. It's not too much. And that just gets a little bit of extension into your spine. So your eyes slide up the wall a little, just so you get that bit of extra stretch through the upper back. Slide your eyes up the wall slightly and then slide back down. Let's do one more. Breathe in as you do this one. And release. You can just roll through your shoulders. And then we're going to come into a little bit of a C curve. So you can come off your cushion or your towel now. I'm going to start with the knees bent and just take hold of your legs behind your thighs. And I want you to feel that sense that the waistband of your trousers is going to open out and go down towards the mat. So start by sitting up really nice and tall onto your sit bones. Just adjust your legs if you need to. And now, as you breathe in, I want you to open the waistband down towards the mat. So the front of your hips are opening a bit. And then just hold that position. So my whole back is in this lovely equal curve. And you're going to take a deep breath in and out. So as you breathe in, see if your waistband can get a little lower towards the mat, opening that lower back. Breathing space into your back, and then as you breathe out, allow it to open even more as you let go and release into that curve. Deep breath into your back, getting more space between your vertebrae, letting your elbows go nice and wide. And breathing out as you release, see if you can open even more into that shape. Another deep breath in. And breathing out. And one more deep breath in. And out. Lovely. And then sit back up. Nice and tall. Now from here, I want you to bring your legs out so that they're straight. And don't worry about sitting up nice and tall here. Now I've brought my legs nice and wide, so I've got a nice base of support. And I'm also going to bring my ball to place in my lower back. Now, if you haven't got a ball, the only reason it's there is just to give you something to support you as you roll back a little bit. So if you haven't got one, you could simply use, I've got a big stack of cushions here that could work instead. Okay, so in fact, I'll show you with the cushions and show you how that would work. But if you have got a ball, you just want to place it so it's going to land about in your mid-back. Okay, so from here, you're going to float your arms out, breathe in, and you can have a little stretch over your legs first of all. And then as you breathe out, you've got that sense that you're opening at the front of the hips. So you breathe out, and then you can come back onto those cushions to give you a little bit of support. You're going to breathe in as you hold this position. And breathing out, imagine you're trying to suck your trousers up into your top to bring yourself back up. Have a little stretch over the legs. Breathe in and then breathing out. Now, if you want to make this harder, you could do it without the cushions and you can come back further. So you're going to hold and breathe in and breathe out, rolling forwards, nice, easy shoulders. The other thing you could do is you could bring your legs together. So you haven't got quite so much broad base of support if your legs are together, so that would make it a little bit harder. hold and breathe in. And as you breathe out, suck your trousers up in towards your top. And have a little stretch over the legs. And let's just do one more. Breathing out. Easy shoulders. Hold and breathe in. And breathing out. Suck those trousers in towards your top as you stretch over your legs. Lovely. I'm going to bring my legs back together and slide everything out so that you haven't got any head support, no towel or anything. Bend your knees and use your arms to lower yourself down all the way onto your mat. We're going to come into a shoulder bridge. So slide your arms out slightly and bring your heels slightly closer in towards your bottom. Imagine you're wearing a watch on each wrist and you're going to press the watch straps down into the ground, and then you roll the front of your hips towards the wall behind you. So I'm opening the front of my hips here and keep pressing as you lift up. Take a deep breath in at the top. And now here, you want to feel the top of your t-shirt comes down first, and then the middle of your t-shirt, and then last of all, the very base of your t-shirt comes back down. You're going to breathe in, breathing out, rolling, opening at the front of the hips. Take a deep breath in, and then you want the top of your t-shirt to melt down first. And the middle of your t-shirt, and then the bottom of your t-shirt. Breathe in and breathing out, opening the front of the hips, healing up. Nice deep breath in at the top, and then just lowering back down. Let's do one more deep breath in, breathing out, rolling up, opening at the front of the hips. Coming up nice and high, deep breath in at the top. And then just allowing your ribs to melt down first. Then your mid-back. And then your pelvis, last of all. Okay, now from here, bring your hands behind your head. And we're going to do a real gentle chin nod here. So I want you to feel almost like you're lengthening the back of the neck, first of all, lengthening the back of the skull. So that's making my chin tuck down slightly. And then you're going to do a little lift, little hover, coming up. And lift. And then lower back down. And release. So when you get that little chin tuck, as you lengthen the back of your skull, you're getting something called capitoflexion. Now, as you come up, you'll find there's this kind of magic point where there's a reaction with your pelvis. So I get this little tuck where the front of my pelvis tucks up towards me. And I just want you to allow that to happen. So don't force it to happen. And then as you come back down, you release. Okay? So you have that lengthening, the chin tucks down, lifting up, and just allow your pelvis to react to this small little lift you're doing with your head. And lower back down. So let's tune into the breathing now. So you're going to get that length and lift as you breathe out. And breathe in to come back down. So length, breathing out. Really allow the pelvis to move, to have that little tuck as you come up. So it might mean that you need to come a little bit higher to make that happen. Just explore that range of movement to see how it works for you and your body. We're going to do two more. So lengthen the back of the neck, breathing out. And allow that lovely, just natural reaction to happen in the pelvis. And breathing in. And do one more length. And lift. Breathing out. And breathing in to come back down. Okay, so from here, I want you to slide your arms out to the side. So my arms are about 45 degrees. And again, that sense that you're pressing into the watch straps on each wrist is going to be really important here. You're going to keep your head down now, so your head stays nicely in contact with the mat. And I want you to press down with your hands and see if you can allow that little lift that you created in your pelvis now to happen on its own. So can you do that little tuck and lower? Okay, so it's a little tuck and lower. So you're getting that little lift as you tuck and lower. Okay, so you might want to keep this really, really small. If you feel like you've got that flexibility in your spine and that strength, then you can start to lift up a little bit higher. Okay, so breathe out and then breathe in. Breathing out and breathe in. And you can use the legs if you want to help you get a little bit of momentum to lift over and come back down. Let's do one more. And lower back down. Just hug those knees in towards your chest. And then from here, I'd love it if you got a towel or a cushion, just something small to place under your head. And we're going to come into one leg circle. So let's go for a lovely wide base of support again today. So my legs are a little bit wider than they might normally be, so they're as wide as my mat. And my arms are just out to the side to about 45 degrees. Okay, now take one leg and bring it up into a 90-90 position. So you've got a right angle at your hip and at your knee. And then you're going to bring that leg across the body, but your arms are still nicely in contact with the ground here. They're not lifting up. And you're going to bring that leg round and back to center. And again, have that little lift around and center. And let's do one more. And then let's pause at the top and change direction. Getting those nice circles with your hip. And as it comes across the body, you can allow the back of the hip to lift. Getting that lovely rotation with your lower back. And after you've done 3, lower that leg. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So the leg that's supporting you here is lovely and strong. I'm pressing the heel down a little bit into the mat, into the ground. And when you've done 3 circles in one direction, change, go the other way. Just check your shoulders and your ribs are nicely in contact with the mat here. And then lower that leg. Now, hug both knees in towards your chest. And see if you can lift your eyebrows up towards your knees, and then use the weight of the legs to bring your arms till they're straight, and then press those heels down to bring you up into seated. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into rolling back. So I want to go back to that idea of capitaflexion. So that was where we just thought about drawing the back of the skull up and the chin goes down a little bit, and then just release. So I want you to draw the back of the skull back, chin down, and release. Okay, then if you are happy, you can add in a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So as you come into that capitaflexion and bring your head forwards, that's going to allow that little pelvic tilt to happen. So slide the head back, chin down, and let your pelvis start to lift. So you're starting to have to balance a little bit here. So you keep your feet down. Sorry, my feet were hovering. I've gone a stage ahead. So you're going to tilt back, allow the pelvis to tilt backwards, and then sit back up nice and tall. So slide the head backwards, let the pelvis tuck under, and come back up. And then you can add in the harder bit where you're floating the feet. So see if you can come into that capitaflexion, let the pelvis tilt at the same time. Can you hover your feet and balance? And then come back again. Release that tuck, let the head come up. So head slides backwards, your pelvis tilts, and your feet float. And back down. So glide the head back, pelvis tucks, feet hover, and you lower. Now you can just keep that there, or if you want to, you can roll onto your back. So I'm going to slide my towel out the way so I've not got anything to land on. Just check there's nothing behind you. And I'm going to glide the head back and breathe in, roll onto my back and roll up. So if you want to, you can come into that. So you're rolling back. And the breathing is really helpful here. So you can breathe in as you roll onto your back and breathe out to come back upright. So breathe in, roll, breathe out, come back. And one more. Perfect. Okay. So from here, we're going to come into a move called single leg pull. And this is another place where the cushions or the ball can be really useful. I'm going to show you with the ball this time, but it's just like how I was using the cushions before. So it's going to land in my mid back. Okay, so if the ball will stay still, which I don't know if it's going to, might just have to come down onto it. Maybe my floor's not quite even. But ideally, you'd use your hands to lower yourself down to get to the point where the ball is going to land exactly in your mid-back. And then you can bring your hands behind your head if you feel comfortable there. And you're going to float one leg up into this 90-90 position. Now, I want you to take this leg and pull it in towards you, and then breathe out, reach that leg away and bring your arms long. So you're going to pull that leg in towards you and breathe out as it goes along. Pull that leg in. Now, if you want to make this harder, just do this without the ball there. So then you're going to have to really work. Now, people often feel like it might be to do with lack of abdominal strength that makes it difficult to get into this position. But actually, often it's more to do with the flexibility in your spine. So if you've got a little part of your spine that's slightly stuck, let's change sides, then that can make this difficult. And so particularly if you're working out first thing in the morning, you might find that you need a little bit more support with something like that than you do in the evening, because during the day your spine will release a little bit and you'll get more flexibility. So you're breathing out as that leg goes away. Breathe in to pull that leg in towards you. Breathing out. Pull that leg in. And reach. Bring that leg in. And release. And then from here, float that leg down. Take hold of the legs behind the thighs and bring yourself back up. Now from here, take a towel and place that under your head. And lie back down onto your towel. And bring your arms right out to the sides and your knees and feet are together here. I want you to roll your legs one way and your head is going to roll the other. Take a lovely deep breath here. And then feel like you're drawing your rib cage back down. So bring the legs back to center. So take a deep breath in and then roll your ribs down to bring you back to center. Deep breath in. Breathing out, bring your t-shirt back to the mat. So come back to center. Breathing in. And pull the side of your t-shirt back down to the mat. Deep breath in. Breathing out. Breathe in. And out. Deep breath in. Just letting everything release. And last one. Lovely. Then from here, hug your knees in towards your chest. You can do a little circle with your pelvis if you want, just massaging your spine. And then take hold of the legs behind the thighs. and press your eyebrows up towards your knees. Now press your legs away until your arms become straight, okay? And then once they're there, just keep pressing the heels down towards the mat to bring you back up. Then from here, sit with your legs so they're about as wide as your mat. Now, you're going to want to bend your knees here or sit on something to help you lift up. Because when you look at your spine, you want to be able to sit right up. So you don't want that sense that you're sitting back through the hips here, okay? You want to be sat up nice and tall onto those sit bones, bony bits of your bum. I want you to bring your arms out to the side and lift up nice and tall. Breathe in to rotate. Breathe out to come back. Easy shoulders for me. Breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now if you want to, you could add on to this move and you could breathe in, and then as you breathe out, you could do little pulses as if you're cutting off your little toe with your little finger. Coming back up, still in that rotation, and then come back to center. Rotate and do those 3 little pulses. You're going to exhale as you do these. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And coming back up. Okay, from here, come over onto your stomach. I want you to bring your hands so they're almost directly under your shoulders. And you'll know you're in the right position when your elbows are up off the floor. So if they're too far forwards, your elbows are going to be on the ground. So if your elbows are on the ground, you're going to need to slide your hands back until you get to a place where the elbows are up. I would love for your big toes to be together, but if you've got any niggles in your lower back, then just allow the legs to come apart. Okay, then from here, I'm actually going to take that towel away because I want you to breathe in, and it's as if you've got a marble in front of your nose and you're trying to roll it away. And then as you do, imagine I'm pressing your elbows down towards the ground, and that's going to allow you to open up through just the upper back. So my bottom rib is still touching the mat. And then as you breathe out, you let the elbows slide back up again and you roll the nose back down onto the mat. So breathe in, roll the marble away, slide the elbows down towards the ground, and you get this beautiful stretch through just the upper back, just where you need it. And then rolling back down. You're going to breathe in, draw the elbows down towards the ground, and then float back up again. And again, breathing in, draw the elbows down, roll that marble away. Deep breath in. So here my eye gaze is going forwards a little bit, not up, 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 but just slightly forwards in front of my mat. And then breathing out to roll back down. And breathing in, slide that nose away. And release. Okay, from here, you can stack your hands one on top of the other and just rest your forehead on your hands. And we're going to focus on the legs here. So I want you to hover one leg off the mat. And I want that sense that the whole of the trouser leg is floating away from the mat. But I'm not twisting or lifting. It's coming from the hip here. I'm opening up the hip and lower. Do the same on the other side. So let the whole of the trouser leg just hover off the mat and lower. And this is more about length rather than height. So just hovering one leg and then the other. Let's just do one more to each side. And then just sit back onto your heels and take a nice deep breath here. Just breathing in. Now, if your knees are together, that allows you to get a bit more into your lower back. And if you press back a little bit so you've got plenty of weight onto your heels, you can really open up through the lower back. If your upper back feels a bit tighter, then you could walk the fingertips forwards and get that lovely stretch through the shoulders and the upper back. Just do whatever you feel your body needs. And then walk the hands back towards the knees. Allow the head to uncurl as you bring yourself back up. We're going to come into a mermaid position now. So my legs are making a Z shape. And now if that feels a little bit tight, you can place your hand on this hip. You're going to lift that hip and lower. And so lifting up and then focus on that sitting back down into that hip. Lift up and lower. But even if after doing this it still doesn't feel right, what you could do is you could just sit in any position. You could grab one of your cushions and sit on that. It's not crucial to be here. Okay, now sit back into that hip. Now this hand, you don't want it to get too close to your body. You want to have plenty of space here. You're going to breathe in and lift up and then stretch. So press down into this hand because that's going to allow your ribs to open a little bit more. You want these ribs to press up towards the ceiling and then release. We're going to go the other way. Lift up and stretch. And lift up, pressing down to open through those ribs. Lift up and stretch. And again, lift up and stretch. Last one. Lovely. Then, little party trick. Can you switch sides without touching your hands to the mat? Okay, and let's ease off. Often you're tighter one side than the other. And you probably chose to start on the side that you prefer, so this might feel a little tighter. Okay, so sit back into that hip for me. And then this hand isn't going to get too close towards the body. You're going to breathe in, lift up, and stretch. So pressing open through those ribs. And come back up. You're going to reach up and stretch. Lift up. Pressing the mat away to open. This is definitely harder for me. On this side. Stretch. Opening out, so pressing the mat away to really send those ribs up. It's taking my breath away this morning. And let's do one more to each side. And last one. Okay, so from here, we're just going to finish the class by taking some nice deep breaths. So take a deep breath in and out, and breathing in and out, and last one. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Great job.